Hey everybody, Brooks from Drag Times here. I am super excited to bring you this exclusive video. I was invited out to Los Angeles to drive the all-new Porsche Taycan Turbo S and be the first person to actually drag race this car down an official quarter-mile track. So what you're gonna see in this video is I'm gonna go over a little bit of how this car regens, because it's quite different. It's a quite different experience from any other electric car you might have driven. After that, I'm gonna take the Porsche Taycan to a high-speed charger. It's by Electrify America. Top charging rate from this charger is 350 kilowatt, even though the Taycan is limited to 270. So we're gonna run the battery down around 20-25%, take it to the high-speed charger, go over the speed of charging, get the Taycan to 100%, head out to the drag strip, and I'm gonna bring the V-Box, the draggy, and you'll see the first real-world runs down the drag strip. After you see those results, I'm gonna loop back, kind of talk about the performance of the Taycan, and then give you a preview of what I got coming next, and it's something everyone wants to see. All right, so I'm in the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. The regen strategy in this car is quite different than any other electric car I've driven. And it almost makes you feel like it's not regenerating, but in reality it really is, and it's actually kind of like a smart regen system. So right now I am actually in Sport Plus mode. There's a button over here which is your regen selector mode. So right now it's completely off. And as you see, when I let off, I'm gonna get up to a speed about 70 here. When I let off, this is the indicator here that shows no regen. It's just coasting. But when I actually use the brakes, that's using the regen before it actually uses the physical brakes. So I'm gonna accelerate up here to 70. Now I'm on the brakes, and you can see the regen are way up. And at some point, and it's almost indiscernible, as you max out the regen of the car, you actually start using the physical braking system of the car. Now that works in different modes as well. So right now we're coasting. If I press this button here again, it turns on the regen, and as you can see in the display, when I let off the accelerator, it's actually slowing down a car a little bit of regen and not coasting as much. But as soon as I touch the brakes, the regen jumps way up. All right, so in the A mode, that's actually for adaptive, not auto. And what that will do is detect a car in front of you and actually use the regen. So right now, there's no car in front of us, as you can see up here. And you can see down here in the gauge cluster, there's very minimal regen. I'm gonna go ahead and speed up, which doesn't take a long time in this car. And now when I let off, it's gonna detect the car in front of me and actually use more regen as I get closer. So right now we got a car in front of us. And there you go. Automatically, my foot is off the accelerator. It detects the car up here in front of us and is applying more regen. So I just took a drive through some of the canyons out here in LA, and now we're heading to the charger. We're going to top off the Taycan Turbo S. This is one of the fast chargers. I think it tops out at 250 or 270 kilowatt. Our battery stated charge right now is about 25%. So we're not going to get that super fast charging speed, but nevertheless, we're gonna hit the charger now. I'll show you the displays charging it up. All right, so just pulled up to the Electrify America charging station. It says it's a max output of 350 kilowatt. The Taycan here, we're seeing it about 20-something%. I'm gonna log in here, plug it in, show you the charging rate. It is super windy. Hopefully, I mean, it's gotta be like 50-mile-an-hour winds. Hopefully this audio is coming through okay. Electrify America, we got the Taycan. Sitting here looking awesome. Woo. We just plugged in. This is the 800-volt system initiating the charge. You can hear this thing kind of ramping up right here. All right, so we should be charging now. We'll jump back in the car because it is so windy. Oh, jeez, all right, so here we are. Here's the display. Hopefully you can see a little reflection there, but we are charging at 115 kilowatt hour right now. We started at 27%. We're at 51 miles. We got to go to 100%, so we'll see how long this takes. All right, so the charge speed just picked up because of the battery temperature. So we came in at 75 or thereabouts. Now we're at 82. The charging rate just went up to about 147 here, and it's going to be an interesting trade-off between the battery temperature and charging speed versus getting the stated charge high enough where the charge rate will start to taper off. But let's see how fast it gets up to here. All right, so we just finished charging up the Taycan. It took, anticipated a little longer, but it took 54 minutes to go from 24% to 100%. And that's because we didn't preheat the battery. It would have went faster. Top charging rate was just over 150 kilowatt hours. And the capacity on the max, I think the best case scenario would be 270. Alright, so first up I'm going to make a test pass of the Taycan. This will actually be the first real world pass down the drag strip in the Porsche Taycan. So I'm going to pull around here. We good?
You need to sign that waiver.
Okay.
Just print and sign. Everybody's got to print and sign. And the wind picked up. I thought it was dying down. It's a headwind.
Okay.
It'll be all right.
All right, here we go. We got the V-Box, we got the Draggy. I've got everything set up. I'm gonna put the car back into drive. Sport plus, traction off, creep up in stage. And here we go. Launch activated, go. Oh, a little bit of spin, but man, this thing's moving. Did spin a little bit off the line. The track's not completely prepped. Launch activated, go. Oh, a little bit of spin, but man, this thing's moving.
60. Quarter mile.
Woof. All right, we're doing another test pass in the Taycan, switching lanes to see if it sticks any better. Launch engaged. Here we go. Felt that gear shift. Spun a little more that time. Launch engaged. Here we go.
30. 60.
Felt that gear shift.
Quarter mile. How long?
All right, here we go. right, here we go.
30, 60,
Still spun a lot. It really pulls hard on the top end.
quarter mile,
This thing moves on the top end. You can really feel it pulling. Woof. Down to 88%.
how long?
Let's see what we did here.
You were just in front of the shade there too, so there's track temperature is cold in the shade, but you just staged just 8 inches in front of the shade.
Okay.
But if you want me to, I'll drag that side in the sun side.
Yeah. Crazy thing is coming back with no prep, it's went much faster. 0-60 and 2.42 just now. Uphill.
That's uphill?
Yeah, 0.53 uphill. It hooked perfect back there.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's a freaking machine. You get such a clock to this.
I mean, I don't know how we can get it to not slip on this surface.
Oh, we're gonna drop CSI. I don't know if you just want to flip it. We'll drop.
I don't think that's gonna do it.
You
That's
want me to
the-
drag this?
All right, so there you go. You saw it. First of all, what do you think of the noise that the Taycan makes when it's launching? It's got some weird, you really can't hear from the inside so much, but when you take the video from the outside, that weird rumbling launch control sound is really unique and just pretty wicked. Now, we have to talk about track prep. A drag strip is only good for drag racing if it's actually prepped. And in this rental that was done, no track prep was done, so I find it hard to believe that the track doesn't ask, hey, do you want the track prepped or not? You figured if you're renting the track, you're getting prep. So you could hear the Taycan squealing down every single pass. I mean, just squealing down possibly to 60 miles an hour. In one case, you could actually hear it chirp second gear when the transmission shifts. So of course, being at the track and knowing what the conditions should have been like, I asked multiple times if we get it prepped. They didn't have the right equipment, they didn't have the spray, so that was kind of a lost cause. I had to deal with what I was provided, and that was a non-prep service, and I actually ran backwards from the other end of the track coming back. I did a 0-60 test, and as you saw in the video, if you saw that part, and 0-60 came in at just 2.42 seconds coming back the other way on a regular street surface, zero prep. And going the other way down the drag strip, the best 0-60 time was 2.55. So as you saw in the video, we made multiple 10.5 passes. Every single pass was in the 10.5s, and every single pass was spinning quite a bit. If that track was prepped, this car's gonna go a lot quicker than 10.5. Now, there was also a huge headwind there. It was actually blowing over porta potties. Howling wind, it was a headwind crosswind coming towards us. So when we looked at the V-Box data, you can actually see that happening. So 60 to 130 going down the drag strip came in at 8.04. 60 to 130 coming back the other way was 7.72. So in a calm day, where does the 60 to 130 time lie? Probably somewhere in between there, 7.8, 7.9 seconds. The top end pulling part of the Taycan is super impressive. We are approaching 130 miles an hour in the quarter mile. That second gear with the transmission surely helps the Taycan pull through and keep going all the way up to probably its top speed of 162 miles an hour. As to the Taycan's performance throughout the day, roughly 2% came off the battery for every run. We weren't running back to back. We were looking at the data in between runs, but we made 5, 6, 7 passes. Ran the battery down into the 80s, and there was no performance degradation down there. The car was still running at 10.5s at over 129 miles an hour. Overall, I have to say I'm super impressed with the Taycan. It's a very impressive car from Porsche. 0 to 60, 2.4 seconds on the street. mid-10s in the quarter mile at close to 130 miles an hour. Of course, the question that everyone's going to be asking is, how does that compare against the Tesla Model S performance? And in the drag times database, if you go to dragtimes.com, we have a listing of all the Model S runs that we have. And the best run to date is 10:51 at about 125, 126 miles an hour. That's within a hundredth of what we got here. And don't forget, the Taycan was spinning, so on a prepped drag strip, I fully expect the Taycan to dip into the 10.4 range, maybe even into the high 10.3 range down the quarter mile. Now, I'm going to give you a preview of what we got coming up, and you're all going to want to see it. We got something in the works, of course. It's the Porsche Taycan versus the Tesla Model S. If you want to see this race, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share it, watch it, and make sure you're subscribed, and you'll see that video coming pretty soon. Thanks for watching.